Thank you for joining us today as we talk about how to protect your organization from data loss in Microsoft Teams. My name is Patrick David, and I am part of the Microsoft Compliance Customer Experience team. I am focused on helping your organization get the most from the Microsoft ecosystem. Your organization has moved to remote work. Collaboration is expanding and growing each day. Your data security and compliance obligations didn't go away. Join me through a series of videos and let me show you how to discover and contain that risk while minimizing your management burden and minimizing the impact to your end users' performance in Microsoft 365. This past year has changed everything. Chat and virtual meetings are now more common than face-to-face communication. Organizational boundaries are no longer good enough. Do you know what data is out there and what's being shared via chats? Let's look at a couple quick things you can do to know your data and how it is being used. Let me show you two quick and easy ways we can identify what content is in your environment today so you can quickly understand what we should look to protect. First, let's look at Content Explorer to see what sensitive content we currently have in our environment across SharePoint, OneDrive, and what's been sent in exchange so we can understand what policies consider implementing for Teams data. To do this, we're going to go into the Compliance Center at compliance.microsoft.com. We're going to go to the Data Classifications tab. Once in Data Classifications, we're going to go to our Content Explorer tab. And Content Explorer is going to show us the sensitive information types that are found in our environment today. And you can see our number one sensitive information in this environment is credit card numbers with 49 across Exchange, SharePoint, and OneDrive. Now this doesn't show our Teams data or what's been shared in Teams chat. To do that, we're going to create a DLP policy without any actions at this time, and then we can start tracking and seeing if credit card numbers are actually being shared across Teams chats also. So to do this, we're going to go into our data loss prevention solution. Once on the DLP page, we're going to click Create Policy. This is going to load a bunch of templates that we have available to us out of the box. For this scenario, we're going to use custom. We're going to do a custom policy and click Next. We're going to name our policy. In this case, we're going to name it Teams DLP, credit card numbers, because that's what we're going to be looking for. And click Next, and then we can choose our locations to apply this policy. For this scenario, we're just going to select Teams chat and channel messages since we are auditing for that location only. And we have the option here to see if we want to include certain accounts or exclude certain accounts and groups. In this case, we're going to audit and search for DLP across all of our accounts in our environment. Because we did a custom rule, the only option we have on the defined policy settings is to create or customize an advanced DLP policy. So we're going to click Next. And then we're going to create a rule. We're going to give the rule a name. And give it the same name, Teams DLP, credit card numbers. We're going to add conditions. In this case, we're going to be looking for content that contains credit card numbers. So we're going to add a sensitive information type here. And we're going to search, and this is all the sensitive information types that we have available, including any custom sensitive information types that we might have created. In this case, we're going to select credit card because that is what we are looking for. So we are selecting credit card, clicking add, and then we have additional options here. So we can add exceptions. Maybe you want to make an exception if someone adds a credit card but is shared externally. Then we want to block it, but maybe if it's a credit card number shared internally, that's an okay exception. Actions, we're going to leave this blank for now because again, right now we're just auditing for credit card numbers being shared in Teams chats or Teams channels. So we're trying to understand if this is actually occurring in our environment and whether or not we should create a full DLP policy for this. We can give user notifications. So if we want to prompt the user when this action occurs, say, hey, this is against the policy for your organization, turn that on. And we can do incident reports. So in this case, we're just tracking this for now. So we're going to select the low, and we're going to turn on alerts for admins. And in our case, we're just going to send an alert every time this policy is matched to our admins, and that's also going to make it show up in the reports. So with that, we're going to save these changes. Here we can see the conditions, we can see the status is turned on. If we wanted to go back and change something, we could do that here. We're going to click Next. And then we've got a couple options of whether or not we want to turn on the policy now, save it for later, turn it on in test mode with policy tips. In this case, because we're not taking any actions, we're just going to turn it on right away so we can start gathering the information if users are using Teams to send credit card information. We're going to click next, and here we can review our policy and make any changes if needed. Everything here looks good, so we're going to hit submit. And here we can see the policies created. So we're going to click done, and we can see we've got our DLP policy here and that it's enabled. After some time's passed, we can come back into the Compliance Center and review the alerts to see if any alerts have been triggered since we've set up our DLP policy. So in here we can see there's definitely some credit card information being shared over Teams, and so we will want to move forward with putting in a policy to protect that data from being shared out. Let's review what we covered in today's video. First, we looked at how we can use Content Explorer to see what sensitive information we already have in our SharePoint, OneDrive, and Exchange environments. We used this information to determine that we have several files which contain credit card data. We then wanted to use this information to see if we are also seeing credit card numbers being shared in Teams chat and channel messages. To do this, we created a Teams DLP policy with no actions and reviewed the alert to see this policy being triggered. If you've not had a chance to check out our Compliance One-Stop Shop page, please take some time to check it out. This site contains easy-to-find content and resources for compliance solutions in Microsoft 365, including webinars, deployment acceleration guides, other videos, links to our preview programs, and much, much more. Thank you for watching our video today. If you have any questions or would like to join in the compliance conversation, please join our Yammer group found here. If you enjoyed this video, or would like to see other videos, please use the feedback link to provide us feedback. Be sure to check out our next video where we will build on what we did today and create a Teams DLP policy to protect our organization from sharing credit card numbers.